Hello everybody, welcome to the Great Hall Podcast. Today, we're joined by Nicholas S. Saclugo, Jonathan R.C., Dylan De Silva, and Yuri. No one can pronounce his last name. So, what we got going in the news today, we're going to be talking about news for our media podcast. I think the really big things that are going on are Iran. We might touch on Hong Kong a little bit. Australian fires. So, who's going to start? Nicholas?
Well, being the American, let's start on Iran. My country is going to war.
You mentioned that your country's going to war. I wouldn't necessarily say that because...
Objection.
Or at least Iran doesn't want a war.
Doesn't want a war, yes.
Trump might want a war.
Might want
and the American people don't want a war. Trump does. Iran doesn't. The people don't.
You guys notice that Trudeau, ever since he got that beard, he's
Oh,
become
yeah.
like more attacking, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, more aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like a nasty hangover. That's what I think of when I think of him. He's having a nasty hangover right
I
now.
think he's doing good because he's actually addressing the issues with Iran and everything pretty well.
Yeah. A smart move to pull out the military.
Well, he only looks like he's a leader of a whole country. Like, have you seen the pictures of Barack Obama before he was a president and and after? It just looks like he destroyed him. It's kind of funny if you look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But of course it's gonna happen.
How bad can it get though? Like really? Like can it be as bad as villages in Vietnam during the war and back then? Could it be as bad as some kind of nuclear apocalypse? You know what I mean? Like how bad can it really get?
That's the thing, especially because it doesn't have a lot of support. No one wants to go to war.
Except a handful.
If you send Gen Zs over, nothing's gonna happen.
Because people always talk about Iran. It's like, oh my God, it's such a dangerous place to live. It's such a dangerous place to live. I don't really know too much about it. I haven't seen it. But I can, you kind of have an idea of it when you read stuff like The Kite Runner, when you see some videos online or something, right? You kind of have an idea of what's going on. People say, oh, I can't sleep because of bombs or something. Like how bad, especially in North America here, I don't really know how bad could they really let it go, right? I don't know. I would assume that we have the technology to stop it from happening, and we have the military to stop it from happening as well. I think one of the biggest arguments I always hear is that if the United States ever went to war in that kind of sense, we had an attack in North America, whether it's a bombing or anything, that Canada would also have to be involved in it too, which is actually very likely if that does happen.
Problem is, which side would we be on? Because
that's true.
World tensions keep climbing, and American and Canadian tensions have gone back how many centuries at this rate?
So.
But yeah, I don't know. I just
because
you can say oh yeah, we're gonna go to war. Right, but then your job isn't affected. The only thing that's really affected is the news, and what you see on the news, what you hear on the news. That's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing. We're not literally directly going to be affected by anything that's going on, right? Maybe loved ones might be taken to go to war. Maybe.
Hi.
Right? Maybe they might, but I don't know. Other than that, there's no real impact in society that's going to be damaged that much.
To talk about the news and the media that's telling us all this information, I feel like they could be blowing up this situation way bigger than it actually is, just to put us in fear.
It's also social media,
and the government could be working not directly working with them, but using them to their advantage to continue having people in fear. The emo you got, because that could. That
was official.
That raising of the level of fear in America could definitely be used to encourage people to go to war.
People in fear are
people in fear
are easy to manipulate, right?
I don't think anyone's gonna be. I don't know, man. Back then it was so much easier. I think. Okay, now, it's a lot easier to tell somebody, oh, cinnamon challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone eat a spoonful of cinnamon. But I think it's gonna be a lot harder to trick somebody saying oh, war in Iran.
There's also
Right.
something interesting, and I'm going to play a video for you in a minute, but you know what else is news that we didn't even think about mentioning in our title card? Donald Trump's impeachment.
Okay,
and the upcoming election.
I have no idea.
What is that?
The impeachment went nowhere, right? It went nowhere because how does it work? The Senate votes.
Here it is.
Video where he theorized that President Obama would attack Iran as a re-election strategy.
I believe that he will attack Iran sometime prior to the election because he thinks that's the only way he can get elected. Isn't it pathetic?
That's all for news
Isn't
for now,
it?
but keep watching for
That was
more
said in
on the
2011. And now it's happening in 2019 for the 2020.
And he's the one who did it.
Yep.
The way you get elected. Fear.
Alright. So, I'm so bad with names. The Iranian leader.
Supreme Leader, I don't know. The general's name was Qasem Soleimani.
But the guy who said forceful revenge.
Was the Iranian Supreme Leader. We can Google that if
Alright.
you want.
Yeah, well, put up his name or something. I'm horrible with names, so I didn't remember it. But he said that they're going to exact forceful revenge. And what that means is kind of up for debate. Because the media could definitely portray that as, oh, against America as a whole. Or it can just be against Donald Trump, the American leaders. Right? Like, there was the videos of them chanting death to America. Oh, his name was Ali Khamenei. I probably pronounced it wrong.
Probably. We are sorry.
But there were those videos of the Armenian people like chanting like "Death to America, Death to America," and they like that kind of blew up for a little bit, and then they clarified what they really meant by that. It wasn't not death to the American people, the American citizens who are innocent, but death to the American leaders,
Mm-hmm.
which is further emphasized by. Didn't they put a bounty, like a $30 million
Yeah.
bounty
$80
on Donald? $80 million
for his head. Yeah.
for his head. Like, it really seems they have nothing against the people.
But you see the problem
just
is,
the leaders.
It's tough because like that is because you really want to say like, oh, like America is the American people, but is it really? Because how much of an impact do the American people actually have on America as a
Yeah.
country?
When the leaders control everything.
Especially
if the-
post-Patriots Act and post-9/11.
yeah, if they're gonna go for Trump, Trump's gonna put the people in front of him and be like, "Oh, I'm doing this for the people. We have to fight back us for the people,"
Exactly.
you know. Even though they're coming for him, he's gonna put the people as a wedge.
Yeah.
They're all a threat, so let us send all of our good and upstanding citizens to protect the American way of the American way of life, not one President Donald J. Trump. American way of life.
He could be seen as a traitor.
Oh, absolutely.
You lose your citizenship, man.
No more emails for you. No more emails for you. Gonna cut you off.
So yes, tensions are rising. Fear is
Mhm.
rising.
What's like the
which
biggest
means
issue
control
with
is
it?
rising
Though?
as well.
Really, like
Problem-
let's say
I
for
think
seeing
it's-
what's like the biggest
For me,
problem.
I feel like
With this situation, with the
It's
Iran,
kind of blown out of proportion just a bit because people are trying to make money off of it on the
Mhm.
internet.
That's
There's
a
also
lot
the
of-
problem
It's
with
normal.
it's clicks.
yeah.
It's normal.
There's also the one problem. Tensions have already gotten to a boiling point ever since
Yeah.
the downing of the Ukrainian airline.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is that Iran flat out said, yes, it was us. They're taking responsibility. If they
Because-
tried to hide it, it could have gotten a lot worse.
Oh,
And
for
they
sure.
also took responsibility for the Canadian plane that was shot down. They were like, that was completely by accident. We didn't mean it. It was to test a missile. Was it for them?
I don't care.
But they did take responsibility, didn't they? I forget. That might have been another plane.
I feel like it doesn't matter if they accept responsibility for it. They still have to get like you can't just say, "Oh yeah, I killed 200 people. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. I killed them. Yeah, that was me. Don't worry,
yeah,
that was
there,
me.
there
Not
has to
me."
be some
You can't just-
form of...
Yeah.
Sure, but it's better than saying, how did they die? I don't know. I definitely didn't fire a missile at them on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hide it.
I mean, at the same time, you can
Yeah.
look at like conspiracies and everything, right? But you can really only like hear what you hear, you know. Like I mean, you can like, oh, maybe someone's lying. You can tell if they're lying or something, right? Psychologists or anything. But it's hard. We can't really go back and forth about it. You know what I mean? Oh, did they lie? Did they tell the truth? This and this. They said something. This is what they said. Figure out whether they lied or not. But yeah, they did say something. That's a plus. It's something.
Yeah, better than nothing.
I feel it's the fact they shot down the Ukrainian thing. If that was an American plane,
Yeah.
things would have just gone through the roof.
Even if it was an accident, for real.
If there weren't other cultures other than people being Ukrainian on the plane, it wouldn't have even made news probably. Plane was shot down. That was about it. So
Anyway, while this is happening,
Mm-hmm.
you have another one of the world's many lungs burning down.
Australia,
Australia.
is in flames.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh. I
Mr.
posted
Beast.
something on
Seen
my
the
Instagram
pictures?
the other day.
Have you seen
The
the
charred-
pictures over Auckland, New Zealand? Red,
No.
pretty much blood red skies
This is crazy.
because of the fire.
27 plus people dead, 2,000 plus homes destroyed, 20 million acres burned, 350 million tons of CO2 released. This is what really kills me. This is when I read this, I'm like, oh my god. This is when I started feeling bad.
And
actually.
another big problem
a
is
billion animals
Sure.
killed.
another
Yeah,
problem.
have you seen how they
the
look?
koalas?
The charred
That's
corpses?
so bad.
Like, yeah, they were saying like koalas can go extinct. Because
That
of
kills me. That kills me. The animals thing. That actually kills me. Because Australia, you know, like people say it's so dangerous and everything, but they got some really beautiful animals there.
Yeah.
Beautiful, amazing animals
And just
there.
beautiful fauna. Like, the environment looks beautiful there.
Okay, I want the rock paper scissors. I'm talking now.
Okay.
One thing about some people might think, well, it's only over 2,000 homes in Australia, but Australia isn't all that populated. Mostly coastal lines because you have the giant desert in the middle, and I can't remember all of the First
Nations,
site.
I guess the native peoples.
Oh, yeah, the
Aborigine?
natives of Australia. They,
Oh yeah, that's bad.
There's something
it's-
bad there.
yeah,
Yeah.
words.
They're
The
suffering.
question is, one of the questions I saw at least was interesting. We planted 20 million trees to make a change in climate. We want to fight back, and all of a sudden we get thrown with this. Is there a
Say
reason
goodbye
for
to
it?
the
The
trees.
iron, yeah, it's like
Irony.
it's destined to
Yeah,
That's
like,
great. That's really fucked up.
be destroyed.
yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
thought that in was man. That's why he said it. That is really sad.
But you know what? So I don't know if it's just me, but so first thing that's big is Amazon rainforest burning down, lungs of the earth. We're gonna die. Save the Amazon rainforest. And that was calmed down. The next thing, oh my god, we're gonna die again. Coral reef. We gotta save the coral reef. Lungs of the planet.
But you know what's sad?
Then that died down. Like I know they're all tragedies, and we should stop these things, but will we always have these "we're gonna die" moments, right? Like what?
They
it's-
make
I,
it like less.
When
When it's
I
not
feel-
as impactful.
I feel like it's it's not losing the gravity of the
That's
situation.
true.
Uluru, that's what it was called. One of the giant national sites of the natives in Australia.
You guys seen on Twitter? There's this girl. So she posted that like, for every like donation, if you send me like a verification that you actually donated, she like sent people like nude pictures of herself, and she raised $700,000.
Holy shit. That's
There's
crazy.
Oh yeah,
like
and
Kim
then
Kardashian,
her
like,
family
is
disowned
It's
her.
Prostitution?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like we want nothing
And
to do with
creation
you
of
anymore. I
pornography.
feel what she got blocked. Like her account was removed from Instagram.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
How
God
old
damn,
was
it's like
she? Because that could be a crime. I mean,
No, she was
She-
a legal age in whatever state she was in. She was.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she was smart about
Okay.
that. I don't even see. Wait. I'll just look, cause I.
top.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, cause it looks like that could be in Shroud. And it looks.
Oh, no,
weird.
no, no, no,
It's
no.
all good. It's all good.
No,
We
we're
made
good.
it. Yeah, we made it.
It's okay. It's only a bit.
Really?
Messed up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like people like her actually trying, and there's big
No, she's
celebrities
doing
that
something.
don't care.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe, Australian. He is in Australia. That's why he couldn't pick up his Oscar. And yet you didn't hear about that. You hear
Or
this person was wearing this at the Oscars.
Leonardo DiCaprio was at least trying to pay attention to it. You've seen like his last like 5 posts.
He's an environmentalist.
Yeah.
He's a big environmentalist guy. Like literally, I follow his Instagram as well. I liked him as an actor, but if you noticed, all of his posts are just all about the environment. He's really big on the environment. Well, at least to what he portrays.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what he portrays.
Yeah.
It's a little too good to be true, you know.
Maybe.
Like, you know,
It's
it
everything.
could be copy and
Everything.
paste.
No pictures of himself. Nothing. Animals, fires.
But at least he's trying.
Yeah, he's showing it out, right? We're gonna claim he's a good person.
To go back to yours claims about how they always say it's like, oh, it's the lungs of the earth
It's always
burning
our
down, and we're like, oh, we're doomed. I feel one of the reasons they say that, like one of them being, oh, we need clicks, but another one is like, if they don't do that, no one's gonna pay attention.
Yeah.
No one's gonna care, right? Like the Amazon
Rainforest.
rainforest being burnt down got more coverage than Australia, and Australia is more damaging.
Oh, what
It's
about
much more acres
But
being
the
burned
reason
Mhm.
for
The
that
church,
is
remember
because
that?
everyone's oh my god,
in France?
lungs of the earth are
Notre
burning
Dame.
down.
Yeah.
That's new. That's
Yeah, that's
what.
crazy.
Yeah, and
Right.
yeah.
The Notre Dame
Maybe
get
they
$1
don't
billion.
really say that about Australia. Keep talking.
I feel like if they both had this happen at the same time, Australia would be valued more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But now-
no one's ever like in the media at least. No one's ever called Australia the lungs of the earth yet. So maybe that's why it's not getting as much coverage.
A lot of clickbait I've seen on Instagram.
Maybe they should,
and
it's the heart of the
Snapchat,
earth now
Twitter,
burning
and
to at least
YouTube.
get people paying attention. You know for a fact people will be scrolling through like Instagram, Twitter, whatever. They see that like, oh damn, just scrolls away like
Yeah.
without a second thought.
But the thing is, even on these like Instagram, it's not legitimized. If the thought's already put in your mind, lungs of planet burning again, and on the news you see Australia's burning, you're gonna instantly think of that, right?
You know, it's hard to think of a solution. I think it's one of the biggest things is thinking of solution to all the problems. Like, you know,
Good
how,
solutions.
Yeah, right. We were speaking
Useful
speaking
Define
about
good.
how, people
Trump.
spoke about Iran. It's like, oh, World War Three, World War Three. Mostly more of a meme, which really annoys me than anything else.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in another
Yeah.
video.
But how it was just like, oh, you know, this was here, and it is true. I agree with it. It's like, well, where was your anger when this was going on? Where was your anger for the world fire? You know, for the fires in Australia. Where was your anger here and here and here? And it's like, yeah, really, like, where was your anger in these scenarios? Like, why don't you just like shut up and help people? And it's like, yeah, you know, I think that is the best way to do things, but a lot of it is where do we direct our attention, right? Where do we direct our attention from? You know, here and here and here. Because, you know, I honestly really do feel like regardless of politics, regardless of, you know, tensions between America and Iran, something would probably happen just naturally. I feel like something would happen and just like arise some kind of spark in something.
If you let
You know?
it.
Yeah. Right? And
Yeah,
just like, as, you know, the natural flow of human beings and just how we are socially, we're so social that I think we're bound to have an issue at some point down the line. Right? If we're just, you know, like it's doing our own thing. You know, there's no real big issue with that. We just have to deal with it properly. But, you know, issues will just arise like that. And how we address them is really the big thing. Because let's say everybody addressed Australia now. Everybody went, they helped out Australia, this and this and this. Yeah, maybe we might be able to stop the fires, right? But there's still like tons of other problems in the world that probably don't get as much publicity. The people say, what the hell, why are you helping them? What about us? Right?
Yeah.
Australia just, they luckily have a lot of publicity about it. Right? I was just looking at Mr. Beast, the Team Trees. Man, if you look at, you know, today, let's say, right, there's, you know, at least, I don't know, 20, 50 people who donated to this thing, who are planting trees out there. Right? And there's probably been like, what, I don't know, I'm going to guess thousands. You know what I mean? I'm going to guess like crazy amounts of people helping out with trees. You know, if all these people were donating to Australian fires, maybe there'd be a difference. You know, but at the same time, they're doing an amazing thing too.
They were smart about it though.
Yeah.
If they wanted one, they only asked for $1.
$1
But they
tree.
got 2 million people to give $1.
But you know, the thing is like that, like, right? These people aren't doing bad things. They're doing amazing things, right? They're, you know, helping out trees on the planet. But then you hear, you know, about all these other news issues, and it's just like, well, you know, where do we put our attention? Where do we direct ourselves?
That's another problem with, I think, modern society as well, especially with social media. We're very, like, uber focused on like one thing at a time.
Tunnel vision.
We can't really, we have tunnel vision, right? It's like, okay, we're looking at this situation right now, while all these other situations are going on. It's like, all right, this is done. Then we move our focus instead of, since we're such a huge population in the world, dividing our attention. We just stay focused on one thing at a time. It's bad.
Memes are monthly things at this point. Like people make charts where it's like this month for memes. It is like one major thing.
Yeah.
It's true. That's really big on it. I don't know. You know, I think a really appealing, really advice that I hear that's like, it's very, very appealing. Is that, you know, if you just work on yourself and you work on everything around you, everything else is gonna fall into place, right? And if everybody did that, we'd all live in a beautiful world. I don't know, because you know,
too optimistic.
it's one of those things where like it's never really happened. You know, and how can you know that, right? I'm not trying to be, you know, go negative, you know what I mean? Everybody, the world's gonna be terrible forever. No, it's not true. But you know, I don't think that there are simple solutions that can just, you know, pop out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Oh my God, you know, help your mom out.
The world's gotten a little too complicated for that.
The world's really been pushed out, and it's always been like that. People are always like that.
Yeah.
People are
It's just
amazing.
There's more of us, right?
Yeah,
There's
there's
so much
many,
more of
man.
us.
Oh my God, it's crazy. You know?
What are the thoughts of famous people that are worth like $30 billion donating a few thousands, or like
Or companies.
companies that donate like 100,000 to an organization, and people complaining, hey, that's only 5% of the money
What you make in a day.
in a day, exactly, yeah, and people complaining about that.
What do you mean? What are they?
So like,
What's the complaint? Sorry.
I watch Ellen.
okay,
I'm just saying that now.
Great person, but
Great person, yes. But one of her
Doesn't
sponsors,
show.
United Airlines, donated $100,000 to Australia the other day.
Okay.
A lot.
It's
a lot
an
of money.
airline.
Yeah.
It is a very popular airline.
they're worth how much again?
Good question.
What's the name?
United Airlines.
okay.
Wait, so what's
with
the thing? Like,
situations
you
like
think
that?
they
$100,000.
Well, you think they should donate more?
Yeah,
Well, people are saying
complaining
that. It
that
seems
they're
super
donating.
That's stupid. That's
That's the
kinda
thing. It's kind of there's two sides of it. It's like yes, they're very rich. They can donate so much more money. I wouldn't mean anything. But are you donating $100,000?
Sure, but my thing
a
is-
bunch of people together donating $100,000? No,
A
they're doing
company
something. At least.
giving like literally a pittance. That's more
21 billion.
PR. 21 billion.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
people are saying, yeah,
Okay.
we're worth 21 billion.
More publicity stunt, in my opinion.
No, okay. Here's
Yeah.
my thing. All right, this is where I think that, let's say, oh, like, you know, worry about yourself. I feel like this is where it comes into play here, right? Oh my God, he donated. Okay, you know, someone can have like $100, right? I can have $100 in my bank account. I'm like, all right, here, $1 Australian flyers. Are you stupid? What the fuck? That's only 1% of all your money. What the heck? 1%? That's like nothing. Oh my God, 1%. 1%. And I can have $1,000. Right? I can have $1,000, let's say. Here, $100. 10%.
That's still a large fraction.
The thing is,
What did you say the United?
I can't look
21
at.
billion.
I can't.
21 billion versus 100,000. You're saying that it's comparable to 1% of $100. 100,000 to 21 billion is a percent of a percent.
And like thinking, they make a lot of money and they lose a lot of money constantly, right?
Why?
So if for 100,000 gain and loss doesn't impact them at all, right?
Regardless of whether or not it impacts them, it's their choice. It's them. They're doing.
Yeah.
They're doing whatever.
Yeah.
What they want to do.
But again,
Right.
And you're doing whatever you want to do. I'm not saying you don't have the right to complain, but
Like, how
I
much
don't
is
see.
an average ticket for a flight?
I just don't see the. Sorry, I just don't see why it's so necessary, especially to make it public, almost like as a public
It's a PR
attack
stunt.
to shame them. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. Mostly, I would. If people are probably doing that, and I would really hate that. That would really piss me off. If you're going out of your way to say United Airlines, don't fly with them. They didn't pay enough. Sorry. Right. They didn't pay enough money. They didn't donate enough money. Don't fly with them because of this. This is why. They didn't pay enough money. They had more money. That is really messed up to me. That's a really
Yeah,
shady
that
thing
kind
to
of
do.
discourages them from ever doing something like that again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just gonna stay out of it this time.
Yeah.
I'm not even donating
For-
anything.
From Toronto
Okay.
here, Toronto to New York and back, there and back is like $300 for them.
And how many people are in the plane?
Around 100, 160.
yeah,
You probably should just go by people flying per day, really.
Yeah.
Here's the thing then, okay.
Lowest
So for the
impact
me,
is-
it's like this, right? You know, they give $100,000. Well, then you're gonna complain about it. So then, what's the alternative? Right?
Well, I feel like people are complaining about it from two places, either criticizing or saying that, hey, I don't like this because you're trying to make yourself look better, even though you're not doing much.
That's where I'm coming from. Is my phone.
I feel like they're yeah,
Okay, that's pretty big too.
like
I
feel
had
like-
a sorry,
Yeah.
I don't mean to
No, no,
cut you
no.
off at all. I have a whole thing on that. You know, honestly, I will totally make a sit-down vlog on selfishness. And can any act be selfish at all? Right? Is people think that every act is selfish. They think because I hold the door for someone, I'm being selfish. They think because I say, oh, you have a very nice outfit. They think that I'm being selfish. Because I think in my head, I'm like, oh, well, oh, you know, I'm complimenting you. It's making me feel really good. Maybe you might say something about me. The difference between somebody being selfish and doing an act and getting something from it is that when you do something good, almost naturally, as a consequence, something's going to go on with you. Right? Oh my gosh, there's so much to say about that. But it's just a consequence. It's a consequence of what happens. Them donating consequently makes them seem really good. Are they saying, oh, you know, okay, it would kind of be a piss off if they were saying, oh, you know, oh, $100,000, oh, we're the largest donators in the world. You know, we're the best airline in the whole world for donating this amount. Sure, maybe that would piss me off a little bit. But, you know, the idea that they're kind of making themselves seem like, you know, an amazing airline or amazing thing just because they donated this thing, I think it's a little bit too far off what they were doing. Right?
Yeah.
Switch it up to maybe about the
Yeah,
royal family.
we are at 26 minutes, so we should be
Can
trying
I
to.
say royal family?
The royal family and wrap it up, I think.
We could just talk
About,
about news and
Like
Uh,
this all?
Yeah.
what?
Prince,
That's so stupid.
Prince Harry and
It's
Meghan
kinda funny,
Markle,
Why do we want to talk
Okay,
about that?
no. We
because we live in the
no,
Commonwealth.
no.
Might as well.
Just media in general, like what they care about, what they pay attention to, right? We should just talk about media in general right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
that
all,
works.
obviously.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the media in general.
Not doing another podcast.
No, we should end this one on how media just media in general, and how they
Ridiculous.
cover stuff, like
Yeah.
what they care about, what they care to show us, right?
Okay,
Right?
so I feel like if it
Wait,
is
actually,
really that bad.
Give it a little bit of a.
Okay.
We're like 3 seconds for an editing point,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
then throw it
yeah.
in so it's a little bit easier. Alright.
And we're back.
I feel like if anything's like really bad or like it can really hurt the way the government's trying to play the strings or anything, then it wouldn't be out of media at all. We live in an age that the government has access to everything we do and can cut off information very easily. It's scary how easily. So if things are really that bad, then like I don't really believe that we even have access to it. I don't know.
It's all about, if you ask me, it's all about focus and attention, and the fact that they're constantly fighting media, different media outlets are constantly fighting for our attention. It kind of ruins us. This is a big statement, but it kind of ruins us as a species. Because now we have serious television, can't help ourselves at all, can't help our fellow humans. So it's just like, we're kind of suffering because of our horrible attention span, right? Like look at what we care about. What's been blowing up in the news? What Prince Harry and whatever his wife's name
Meghan
is.
Markle.
I kept seeing that.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Sussex? Sussex.
Or
I kept seeing that.
important people from England going to Canada, people begging, please stay in Canada. It's like, man, you care
In
about
Apple
that?
News,
That matters?
in Apple
Like,
News,
who
it's
cares?
the largest headline.
Moving to Canada.
It is the
Yeah.
largest headline in Apple News. Like that kind of pisses me off a
I
little
love how
bit.
they added Vancouver
Right?
too.
Like, who cares, man?
It is the largest headline. You can put it
Like,
up.
that doesn't
I'll
matter at
screenshot it.
all.
It is like, you know,
It's so insignificant compared to all the big stuff happening in the world. It's like, yo, there's child prostitution happening in the Philippines, you know, forced organ transplants happening in the Philippines. But hey, who cares? Who cares? Because these two people that seem fancy are coming to Canada, man. Like, really? That's what matters?
Part of it has to
in
do
this
with-
modern world? That's what we care about?
Part of it has to do with all the clickbait.
Exactly.
But at the same time, well, 2 points. First of all, Canada is part of the Commonwealth. We were the Dominion of Canada. We, until Pierre Trudeau brought the British North America Act to Canada, could not make our own laws. We could not change our constitution. Effectively, we were still a colony of the Crown.
I hate that.
We. By looks of it, I'm the only one that
That's
supports
so
the Crown
funny.
at this table.
I honestly don't care. The world's messed up
Says
anyway.
says the guy who is a cadet. Of the Royal Canadian
why is it
Cadet.
bad? You know what I mean?
Thing?
Where was I?
I don't know, like
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry now. Yeah.
The only one that cares about the Crown.
But the
And
state
another
rules.
thing is, this is the first time it's ever happened. A royal has never left the comfort of the family.
I couldn't care less. That's my own personal opinion. I don't hate the royal family. It's just like,
I
man,
just don't care.
I don't care, and it's like I hate the fact that people care so much about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, you should not be
Actually,
front cover news when all this other stuff's going on.
when it's someone who was Commonwealth or former Commonwealth, I can understand that being news.
Watch me get beheaded.
One of the funniest things, though,
Nice knowing you.
one of the funniest things I find
hanging.
is how America is the one that ends up always being in law.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
What
But
happened?
Hollywood.
that's the culture of America. It's
I
like,
know,
man, look at these fancy looking people. We care about them. They're at the top of
Well, they have the
all of our
right to be on
priority
top.
list.
They were born into it, therefore they have the right to be on top. Right?
That I hate that. I hate
You too.
I hate when people are born into something. Oh my god.
Just
The
don't-
Kardashian family kills me.
I still don't know all their
So,
names.
Wrap it up, I guess.
Close it off. You know what I'd say to wrap it up real quick. What do we talk about? Iran.
We talked about
Fires.
Iran, the fires, the royal family, New
Royal
Zealand,
Media's all
media in general.
Media, what they focus on, what they make us focus on as a species.
So I kind of got, we got 3 points. We got 3. We got Iran, fires, and media.
Iran
what they
from
show
fires
us.
to media.
So let's do a quick,
Wrap up.
3-point wrap up.
Oh,
Whoever
3
wants to say anything about. Let's do Iran first. Just like one, just have a statement.
So
Don't
Iran,
debate it.
a lot of tension between that and the media, maybe overblowing it. Fires, a lot of people.
Sucks.
Not a lot of people are paying attention.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the environment, especially
Publicity.
considering the future of the
People
world.
throwing it out every once in a
A
while.
lot of lives being lost.
And the species that could go extinct, the animal species, which is tragic. Media, controlling us as a species.
They really
We are
do.
now a species of media.
We
Humans
too,
are
yeah.
just media, and it's controlling us, making us blind to everything else except for what they want us to see.
Yeah.
And we, as a race,
We're
get
screwed.
our priorities straight.
Everyone get your priorities straight.
Yeah.
Know what's important.
So I guess that's been the podcast on media.